GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning. The SBVM just pulled down a flock surveillance camera after a brief deployment, and officials unveiled a new West Island transit hub aimed at easing airport commutes. Traffic's light today with only minor roadwork delays. Over to you, Ryan.
Over 700 tons of sand were spread on Montreal's Gilles Villeneuve circuit to set up a beach volleyball tournament.
The sand covering the circuit creates 4 courts, allowing athletes to compete directly beside the historic racetrack.
Event organizers expect more than 200 participants over the weekend, drawing fans from across the island.
All right, let's get into it, starting with today's top headlines and the stories that matter this morning. Here are our top stories. Montreal police withdrew a flock surveillance camera they had installed just hours earlier as part of an ongoing investigation on August 12th. The device was removed after a brief deployment. Jesse Cartier has the full story.
Police officers rolled out a compact flock surveillance unit on a downtown street on the afternoon of August 12th, positioning it to capture footage for an ongoing investigation. Within a few hours, the device was dismantled and taken away by the Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal, leaving the site as it had been before. The quick removal was confirmed by officers on scene, who said the camera had served its purpose and was no longer needed. Flock cameras, known for their small size and rapid deployment, have appeared in several recent police probes across the city, offering a discreet way to gather visual evidence. The unit is now back in police storage. Jesse Cartier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Yesterday, officials unveiled plans for a new transit hub in the West Island aimed at smoothing the ride to and from the city's main airport. The proposal calls for a central station that will link existing bus routes, the REM line and future commuter train services, giving travelers a single point to transfer without navigating multiple stops. Currently, the airport relies on a handful of direct bus lines and a REM stop at the terminal, leaving many commuters to juggle separate connections. City planners say the hub will cut travel time and reduce congestion on the main highway corridors leading to the airport. Construction is slated to begin early next year, with the facility expected to be operational by the mid-20s, aligning with broader efforts to expand public transit coverage across the island.
Tourisme Montreal says the city is on track to welcome 12.5 million visitors this year, eclipsing the previous record of more than 11 million set in 2019. The agency attributes the surge to strong summer festivals, a robust culinary scene, and renewed interest from international travelers. Hotel occupancy is already nearing full capacity across the Plateau, Mile End, and the historic Old Port, while BIXI rentals have climbed steadily since the start of the season. Local businesses report longer wait times at popular dépanneurs and restaurants, and the Transit Authority notes a noticeable uptick in SDM ridership during peak weekend hours. Officials stress that the influx supports thousands of jobs in hospitality, culture, and transportation, keeping the island vibrant throughout the busy summer months. The upcoming Jazz Festival and the tail end of Oshiga are expected to draw additional crowds, further boosting the city's profile.
Police say a man in his 60s sustained a serious head injury after a cyclist assaulted him in Montreal, with the suspect fleeing before officers arrived. Jesse Cartier has the full story.
An elderly man in his 60s suffered a serious head injury after a cyclist rammed into him on a city street this afternoon. Witnesses said the rider, a male, struck the victim with his bike and then sped away before police could reach the scene. Officers arrived minutes later to find the man unconscious on the pavement, emergency crews administering first aid before transporting him to hospital. Detectives are now canvassing the area and reviewing nearby surveillance footage in hopes of identifying the suspect. No arrests have been made, and police have asked anyone with information to come forward. Neighbors heard a crash and saw the cyclist disappear, leading to a brief road closure as officers secured the area. Jesse Cartier, GMNA News, Montreal.
A research scientist from the Canadian Forest Service explained today in Montreal why wildfires in British Columbia are producing larger population impacts than those in Quebec. Jan Boulanger cited higher population density in fire-prone zones and more frequent smoke events as key factors. He noted that recent fire seasons in Western Canada have seen record-size burns, increasing the risk of evacuation and health effects. Quebec AM specialist Rachel Watts added that Quebec's fire management strategies and lower settlement density in affected areas have limited direct impacts on residents. Both experts said the contrast underscores the need for region-specific risk assessments as wildfire activity remains elevated across Western Canada. The briefing was held on August 13, as officials continue to monitor fire behavior and public safety. Provincial health agencies in both provinces are reviewing the findings to adjust emergency response plans. Coming up, the first North American regenerated liver transplant performed on Quebec man marks a medical milestone. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Negotiations between the Quebec government and the Newfoundland and Labrador government reached a pivotal moment yesterday, as officials said they are on the brink of sealing a new agreement for the Churchill Falls hydroelectric project. The talks aim to replace the contentious 1969 contract that has fueled inter-provincial tension for decades. Under the original deal, Newfoundland and Labrador sold power to Quebec at rates many now consider outdated, prompting repeated calls for a modernized framework. Provincial leaders described the emerging pact as a balanced solution that could unlock additional revenue, stabilize long-term energy supplies, and reinforce cooperation across the Atlantic provinces. While final signatures are still pending, both sides expressed confidence that the revised terms will address historic grievances and set a foundation for future joint initiatives. The agreement is expected to be formalized before the end of the year, marking a significant shift in interprovincial energy policy.
Quebec's first North American regenerated liver transplant was performed on a 64-year-old man, marking a breakthrough in lab-grown tissue that could expand the donor pool. Jose Cartier has the full story.
At the St. Luc Hospital Surgical Suite, a 64-year-old Quebec man just emerged from the operating room after undergoing North America's first regenerated liver transplant. Surgeons removed his failing organ and replaced it with a lab-grown liver segment cultivated from the patient's own cells, a technique that avoids the need for a traditional donor. The procedure, performed on 13 August, marks a milestone in the fight against the chronic shortage of donor livers, offering the potential to expand the pool of viable grafts. Hospital officials said the transplant was successful, with the new tissue showing normal function in early monitoring. Researchers hope the approach will soon be replicated at other centers across the continent. Jose Cartier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Canadiana Village, the recreated 19th-century Quebec hamlet that has long been a backdrop for movies and television, opened its doors to the public today after 3 decades of serving mainly as a film set. Owners say the revival aims to protect the historic timber buildings and period antiques while offering a modern experience for both visitors and independent filmmakers. Guided tour will showcase original storefronts, a blacksmith shop and a schoolhouse, all restored to reflect the era's craftsmanship. A new visitor center provides interactive displays and a small cafe serving traditional fare. The site will continue to rent space for productions, blending heritage tourism with the creative industry. Officials hope the dual purpose will draw families, history buffs and creators alike, keeping the village alive as a living museum and working set.
Yesterday, Quebec unions delivered an urgent appeal to the provincial education ministry, demanding immediate measures to stem a growing teacher shortage before the new school term begins. The ministry confirmed that more than 3,000 teaching positions remain unfilled, including 3,132 vacancies across the province. Union leaders say the gaps stem from recent funding reductions and aging school facilities, leaving classrooms understaffed and prompting concern among teachers, staff, and parents. They are pressing for accelerated recruitment, increased salaries, and investments in school infrastructure to attract and retain educators. The ministry has said it will review the proposals and work with unions to develop a response before schools reopen. Parents in affected districts are watching the negotiations closely, fearing disruptions to student learning if the shortfall is not addressed.
More than 700 tons of sand have been spread across the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on Isle Notre Dame, transforming the racetrack into a beach volleyball venue for the upcoming tournament. Jesse Cartier has the full story.
More than 700 tons of sand are being spread across the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve today, turning the former Formula One track into a makeshift beach volleyball arena. Workers in orange vests are hauling loads from dump trucks, dumping the gritty material along the straights and into the turns, while crews level the surface with shovels and compactors. The sand is intended to create multiple courts for the upcoming Montreal beach volleyball tournament, scheduled to kick off later this month. Spectators can already see the bright white expanse against the backdrop of the park's trees, and officials are monitoring the depth to meet competition standards. The transformation is part of a broader effort to repurpose the island's racing venue for summer sports. Jesse Cartier, GMNA News, Jean Drapeau.
Let's get a look at your morning forecast with our weather team.
A western jet streak pushes high pressure inland, locking in a dry, modestly warm day. On this date, Montreal once burned to 32.1 degrees Celsius back in 2021, a record set during an unprecedented late summer heat wave that rattled the power grid. The cold counterpart fell to 12.1 degrees Celsius in 2022, when a sudden Arctic dip pierced the province, turning mornings into frost. By contrast, the climatological normals hover around a high of 26 and a low of 15 degrees, making today's 26 peak feel modestly above average, but far from the extremes. The live radar canvas is spotless across the province, no rain bands or snow showers in sight. A thin line of mid-level moisture lingers far to the west, but the dominant western jet at 82 kilometers per hour steers it away from the city. With high pressure building and the atmosphere stable, we expect the skies to remain clear through the morning and into the evening. Turning now to today's detailed outlook. At 7 this morning, Montreal sits under a cloud deck with a temperature of 17 degrees, humidity near 100%, and a light west wind of 4 kilometers per hour. A high-pressure ridge is rising, sealing in dry air and suppressing any lift, while the powerful western jet at 82 kilometers per hour streams aloft, reinforcing the ridge and keeping disturbances to our north. Temperatures will climb steadily, reaching 21 by midday as clouds thin, then 23 in the mid-afternoon before slipping back to 21 as dusk approaches. The UV index sits at 5, and wind gusts will peak at 30 kilometers per hour from the west, giving a breeze on surfaces. No weather alerts are active. With the atmosphere locked in this stable pattern, the day will stay dry from sunrise to sunset. Looking ahead, Thursday brings a clear sky with a high of 23 and a low of 14 degrees, the ridge remaining firm as the western jet stays aloft. Friday holds steady, 22 at the peak and 14 at night, keeping the dry spell intact. Saturday remains mainly clear, climbing to 23 by afternoon before dipping to 15 after sunset, a modest rebound in warmth. Sunday marks the first break in the pattern, A weak low drifts east, delivering a 40% chance of rain and a high of 24, while temperatures stay mild at 16 overnight. Monday returns to clear conditions, 23 maximum and 17 minimum, as high pressure reasserts itself for the start of the work week. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic with minor delays, a peek at Angelmaker and the Korean Festival, plus the Lambert and Phil Spotlight. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Morning commuters, the biggest slowdown right now is on Rue Saint-Urbain, where a major construction zone sits above Route Saint-Trent-6 Ville-Marie. Expect a 3-minute delay per kilometer and reduced lanes through the downtown stretch. Next, Boulevard de l'Acadie feeding onto Autoroute 40 East remains under major work, causing bottlenecks at the on-ramp and a steady queue that can add 5 to 10 minutes to your trip. On the north side, Boulevard Lacordaire above Autoroute 40 sees a minor hindrance. Traffic is moving, but allow an extra minute or two. Further east, Avenue Soligny between Autoroute 25 and Rue Honoré-Beaugrand has a minor slowdown, but flow stays steady. Aside from these sites, the rest of the network is clear. No transit delays reported this morning. Looking ahead, expect similar light construction impacts this afternoon, with the main bottlenecks persisting around Saint-Urbain and l'Acadie.
Montreal's National Bank Open reaches its climax at Uniprix Stadium, where the final rounds unfold today, and the championship match is slated for this evening. The world's top men will battle for the coveted title. Across the Old Port, the Orientalese Festival lights up Clock Tower Pier, offering vibrant performances, hands-on workshops, street food stalls, and family-friendly activities that celebrate Eastern and Middle Eastern cultures. In Mile End, Angelmaker takes the stage at Theater Fairmount, delivering a raw, high-energy set that blends post-punk grit with shoegaze swirls, the perfect lift for an afternoon break. Looking ahead, the LAS Festival will roar onto Parc Jean Drapeau from August 14 through 16, bringing roots and country stars such as Thomas Rhett, Mumford & Sons, John Party, and Old Dominion for a 3-day music celebration you won't want to miss. Stay tuned as the city buzzes with summer excitement. And now here's Tyler with sports.
The Canadiens' front office is busy, and the pipeline keeps getting deeper. Kent Hughes isn't done working. The Canadiens' GM has left the door open on a trade as early as September or October if the right deal partner materializes. The front office posture here is telling. Hughes built enough confidence in this roster to feel no regret if nothing moves, but he's clearly scanning the market for an upgrade. The Canadiens' depth chart got an interesting name added this offseason, Sasha Pastujov, coming over from Anaheim as part of the deal that sent Sean Farrell to the Ducks on July 27th. Montreal's AHL affiliate has been overhauled, and Pastujov's track record with the U.S. National Team Development Program makes him one to watch at the next level. Coming in at number 22 on the Canadiens' prospect rankings is Hayden Papenkis, a 6'5" center Montreal traded up to grab in the third round of the 2025 draft. He logged his first full season with the Kelowna Rockets and showed marginal improvement. At that size and age, the ceiling conversation is very much still open. Training camp is coming. Every move matters more now.
Thanks, Tyler. Lambert and Phil's, the beloved family-run shop on St. Laurent in Mile End, has long been a go-to for handcrafted home goods and locally sourced decor. This week the store feels the sting of new United States tariffs on many of its imported fabrics and metal fixtures. Prices have jumped, forcing owner son Mark to rethink both pricing and where he sources his wares, shifting toward more Quebec artisans. The move ripples through the neighborhood, keeping dollars in the community and sparking a conversation about the real cost of global policy on everyday Montrealers. Lambert and Phil's matters because it turns a corner store into a gathering place where the city's craft and character meet. Stay tuned for total solar eclipse over Montreal on August 12th and our SPCA's Animal Rescue Patrol. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. A total solar eclipse will sweep across Montreal on August 12, 2026, offering a rare celestial spectacle that has local astronomers eager to observe the event. Philippe Mousset has the full story.
On August 12, 2026, the path of totality will sweep across Spain before reaching eastern Canada, bringing a complete obscuration of the sun to parts of Montreal. Local astronomers, including Philippe Mousset of the Vega Astronomy Club in Cap Rouge, have set up portable telescopes and safety filters on the banks of the St. Lawrence, hoping to catch the brief darkness that will last roughly 2 minutes at the city's center. The club has coordinated with schools and community groups to distribute certified eclipse glasses, ensuring safe viewing for families gathering in parks and on rooftops. Weather forecasts predict clear skies over the island of Montreal, raising expectations for a striking visual display as daylight turns to night. Philippe Nadeau, GMNA News, Montreal.
The SPCA of Montreal's Investigations Bureau has deployed special constables to patrol streets daily, responding to reports of animal abuse and neglect across the city. Philippe Nadeau has the full story.
Special constables from Montreal's SPCA Investigations Bureau are out on the streets tonight, conducting their routine patrols and responding to emergency calls. Officers move through neighborhoods, checking on complaints, following up on tips, and stepping in whenever they encounter signs of neglect or abuse. Their mandate is to enforce the province's animal welfare statutes, and they have the authority to enter homes, seize animals in danger, and file charges against offenders. In recent weeks, the team has rescued dozens of dogs, cats, and other pets, providing them immediate veterinary care and safe shelter. The constant presence of these officers aims to deter future cruelty and ensure that vulnerable animals receive protection before harm escalates. Philippe Nadeau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us this morning. Tonight we shared the groundbreaking story of the first North American regenerated liver transplant performed right here in Quebec. I'm Lauren Dupuis, wishing you a bright day ahead. Tune in tomorrow for more local news and stories that matter.